All right, everybody, welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. Today we got on our video, myself, Mark Wayner, the second team leader at Champions Real Estate Team. We have Jeff Peterson, who is with Champions Real Estate Team, Rich Howdle, who's with Champions Real Estate Team as well. And then we have, as always, Russ Williams with Arbor Bank as a mortgage specialist over there. So we'll kind of talk about what's going on in the market here today. Russ will kind of catch us up with what's going on in the mortgage industry, what rates are doing, all that kind of fun stuff. And then at our team meeting that we had yesterday, we kind of touched on just some different things going on in the market and what our clients are doing and things of that sort. We kind of came up, we've had quite a few, people that are renting houses or even in apartments right now, and we kind of touched base with Russ and kind of got some numbers put together. Kind of renting versus buying. What is it actually costing you, monetarily, and then the future of money and the cost of money going forward. So anyways, kind of what's going on here in the marketplace. Pull up our normal chart that we got going on. So as we see, take a look here. We got about over just shy of 500 new listings that came on the market. We have 441 new contracts, basically homes that went pending. So that's actively going on. And then the sold homes are just probably by the time since I did this, we're probably about over 600 homes sold in the last week. So that's indicative of what happened about 45, 60 days ago when those contracts were written. So that's basically kind of right when we started reopening. A lot more people started getting more active out there outside their homes in that shelter in place. So we're also sitting at just under 2,500 active homes on the market, where when I just looked, it was about 2,443. Taking a look at that too. So you hear people say that all the time, like in the real estate industry, we got 2,400, 2,500 homes on the market. But breaking that down, looking at it more in depth, we have about 903 of those 224-43 number. About 900 of those are new construction homes that have not been lived in, that are either in the process of being built or spec homes that are out there that are ready to be purchased now. So that leaves only just about 1,500 homes actively on the market that are your existing homes, so that aren't your new construction. So new construction is typically on the outskirts of town where they're developing land. So if you're looking to get in the in inner city, but basically inside Omaha, Millard area, Bellevue, kind of the surrounding, cities that have established, we only have 1,500 homes. So as always, it's a great time to sell your house, and then even looking to buy. That's something that we're taking a look at with the cost of money right now, with the interest rates going through there, kind of show the other kind of what's gone on in this last month. Let me pull it up here. So as we got here, this is basically our trend graphics report over the last month. So as you can see, today's stats. So from this time last year, we were down, as we were last week, about 30% active homes on the market, but our pending number. So basically that just means there's a lot of buyers out there, swooping up and getting those listings as they're coming on the market. I know myself, I have about 4 listings that are getting ready to come on the market. So as those come up, we'll let you know when those things are ready to get rocking and rolling. So if you have any questions about getting your house ready, like my clients now, they're getting some, painting and doing all that kind of fun stuff. Let us know. We can come take a look at it. We can have our stagers come in, get the ball rolling, so that your house is, ready to go when we go live on the market. So, but as we go through, we got the holiday weekend coming up. So what does that typically mean? My 12 years being in the business, being a 4th generation, I've learned over my 12 years, ultimately from my father, and grandfather and great uncle that have been in the business, typically, 4th of July, families, a lot of celebrations and things like that, kind of see a little slowdown, and then we just kind of started this week, we started seeing that schools were announcing that they're going to be getting going kind of on regular basis, in August. So typically what we would see is after 4th of July, it slows down a little bit, families start going on vacations, all that stuff before school gets going, people start getting geared up for school. So it'll be interesting to see, with a lot of people not traveling on vacation, kind of uncharted waters. We'll see what happens. I think the real estate market will still be strong and be going very active as we get through here. But let's get in touch with Russ here and kind of get an update on what's going on in the mortgage industry. So
Hi, everybody. Interest rates have maintained, again, very good stability over the last week. Every Thursday morning, Freddie Mac releases what's called the primary mortgage market survey. Last week, nationwide, the average rate was 3.13% with 0.8 points paid. Again, that report comes out every Thursday morning for average rates over the last week. And when it comes out tomorrow, I expect we're going to hit all-time lows yet again. I expect it will be below that 3.13%. So your borrowing power has never been stronger. We are at the lowest interest rates that we've ever had. So this is a great time to finance a house. We also, over the last week, have seen that NIFA, the Nebraska Investment Finance Authority, which is a first-time homebuyer subsidy for buyers that qualify in the state of Nebraska, they took a mild rate decrease this week as well. So NIFA is a great program for folks that are looking to get into their first home. And kind of to dovetail on what Mark had mentioned, if you're renting right now, at least in this market, we've seen average increases in rent for residential properties go up about 2.5, a little over that per year for the long term, which means over the course of the next 30 years, if you're paying $1,600 a month in rent, by the time you hit the end of 30 years, the amount of your paying is going to be well over $3,000 in monthly rent. This is a good time to fix your housing payment by buying a house, and these are the guys that can help you with that. So anything else you want me to add?
Yeah, I think, kind of what you touched on with that rent aspect of it. I know, like I mentioned earlier, just talking about in our team meeting, just talking about that. What does it actually cost you? So I'll share a screen here, just kind of what's going on. And, I think it's kind of tough to see. Does that show up well for you guys or no?
I can see it okay. It's kind of small, but there you go.
There you go. That's better.
So kind of the 4 lines that we have here, basically, I'm trying to move my little thing. So this is on a $200,000 house with a $1,350 monthly payment, with today's interest rates. And on average, kind of the rents I've seen for a $200,000 house around here in Omaha, my old neighborhood out in Arbor Gate, they're going for about, $1,600, $1,700 I've seen. So if you're paying a $1,300 month payment, you're saving $250 a month. So over the year, this first column here, the first row, I guess, not column, basically shows that you're saving $3,000 a year. If you were to take that money and invest it into a 401k, Roth IRA at an average of 6%, return on investment, you're going to be at $3,083. And when we talk about the average appreciation, annual appreciation for property values, roughly it's an estimate about 4%, 3%, at $209,000. So if you waited 1 year, as you're renting a house, you're going to cost yourself down here in this last column, about $12,000 just to wait, and that's not saying that if interest rates do tick up a little bit, you're going to even end up costing yourself more. So I think that's just something that's interesting to see. I know when I first bought my house back in 2008, I was able to stay at my parents' house. But at that time I was like, well, do I go rent a house? Do I buy a house? And I thought, I'm going to be staying in Omaha for the time being, so I went out and bought a house. Well, I sold that house last year. I bought it for 110, sold it for 180, roughly 187 and some change. $87,000 that I basically made off of that over 10 years. So that's something where I could have been tossing it away, 12 years as you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I would have cost myself $33,000 in this scenario if I waited 12 years, at saving that extra $250 a month, over that time, when in turn I end up making $80,000. So that's just something to take a look at when you're really evaluating. And I think, as renting, you kind of get in that habit. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to save to buy a house, and the next year comes up and you're like, oh gosh, I got to renew my lease or find a house. I only have a month to do it. Well, I'm just going to renew my lease. Well, you kind of get in that habitual cycle of just renting a house. Well, what is that truly costing you? The cost of money, the time and money, compound interest over time. So as you stretch this out, I'll make this a little bit smaller so you can kind of see, this is a 30-year chart, with property values. If you bought a $200,000 house in 30 years, you're basically going to end up netting over $1 million of your property value plus your assets that you're putting into that extra money you'd be putting into a Roth IRA at $250 a month. So that's just huge to take a look at from that perspective. I think, there's so much data that we can really jump into and kind of just different scenarios that, I think if Russ is up to it, I think maybe we just do our own separate video of what's going on versus the renting versus buying, and truly what does that cost you? I know me being in real estate, love to help you buy and sell a house, but ultimately it's how can we help you put yourself in a better situation to grow your net worth? And that's ultimately what our goal is to coach you and educate you and teach you, the value of real estate and how can we help, grow that financial independence that, as you gain some of this, I'm talking with Rich yesterday, he's got some neighbors that have, their house is paid for. They may have $200,000 in equity, $250,000, depending on what their house value is. Well, can you turn around and invest that money into another house, a rental house, and have somebody pay it off? And, these numbers just keep growing exponentially going through that. And that's something that you can use real estate to go through that. When you put your money in the stock market, yeah, you're hoping you're getting a 6%, 10% annual return, but they go up, they go down. In real estate, you can touch it, you can feel it. You can have the tax benefits, tax write-offs and stuff like that with an investment property. So that was a whole nother videos that we can kind of get down in a rabbit hole. So I know we try to keep these kind of Wednesday, talking real estate videos short as we go through there. But I think that's just something that we wanted to bring up that we thought as a team, we talked about yesterday. How can we show our clients and our friends and family even that much of, you're renting a house, or an apartment or something like that. And we know there's circumstances that you're trying to build up credit. You want to get a good down payment, but sometimes you just got to make that jump of getting into a house. I know that's what I did when I first bought my house. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm, staying at my parents' house, just after college. And all right, instead of renting, having a family be in real estate for 4 generations and that aspect of it, you kind of get steered in that direction a little bit. But it's one of those that is, I'm very happy that I did. It's been able to, grow that equity that I was able to make, especially, in a Hearthstone home, a first-time home buyer home right now. Those things are like, I've heard somebody compare them to the old Berkshire stock. They went up so quick, so fast, and you can't build those houses anymore. Entry-level new construction, with Celebrity kind of being that first-time home buyer, new construction wheelhouse out there, they're at 225, 220 on an entry level. So until somebody can devise a plan to get into those first-time home buyer wheelhouse with the cost of land, I think that's kind of prohibitive. But somebody out there will come up with an idea to help you through there. So, but that's just one of those charts that we want to get out there to you. Happy to sit down and chat with you about it. On a one-on-one, or if you want to do a Zoom or things of that sort of how we can help you, get you into a house. Even if you're going 6 months from now, you're still going to be better off, especially with, interest rates. I know, as the government, the stimulus of money that's being pumped out there to help the economy and get the economy going, inevitably that, rates are going to have to go up. We don't know when that's going to be. We've been saying rates are going to go up, for the last 5 years, and they keep staying where they're at. But those are one of those things that inevitably things are going to go up. Even at 4%, I know when I bought my house in 2008, I think my rate was at 6.125. That seems outrageous right now. It's double what we're at. So those are some of those things as you look through there. So, but I don't know, Russ, do you have anything to add, or any other thoughts or comments on, or any Rich or Jeff on what you guys are seeing, or, out there in that rental? I think you're on mute, Russ. I can see your lips moving, but I can't.
There you go. I think real estate is really underappreciated as far as what it can do for your financial stability long term. Google it. Real estate is but far and away the greatest producer of wealth in our country. In fact, our entire tax system is built on the idea of homeownership. So I highly encourage you, if you have not looked into it, certainly there's a place for traditional investments, whether it be 401ks, IRAs, SEP plans, all those sorts of things. But real estate as a part of your financial portfolio is the fastest and greatest proportionally generator of wealth in the history of our country. So I highly encourage you to look into it, and would be happy to support you there.
Yeah, and I think that's the great point, is that we just want you to be aware of it. It's the sooner you can get into it, the better you can be, the better you can be and set yourself up for that financial freedom. Whether you have, kids that you got to put in college, or you got a retirement plan that you want to set up for yourself, having that passive income set up and growing that net wealth, And if it doesn't work out, we can, you can sell it and get out of it if you don't want to do it. You can have a property manager manage it. I think that's kind of one of the things that people get into is that, well, I don't want to have to manage it. Well, you pay a percentage to have somebody manage it. Yeah, that's a cost, but that's something that you're still building that net wealth. And if you have that 3 to 4% annual appreciation on your property value, and obviously we just touched on rents increasing, your mortgage is going to stay the same, unless you refinance or anything like that. But as your rents increase and stuff like that. So, Jeff, you have anything to add, or Rich?
No, I mean, in terms of keeping it short, I think you covered it all. But I just encourage people to reach out to us if you have more questions on it. So
yeah,
you're right. There's a lot more rabbit holes you can run down with this topic, but I would just encourage you to talk to us. Give us a call. We're available. Yeah.
And if you guys want a copy of that graph or whatever that we just put up, we have other ones that we can show you. Like we said, we can do a one-on-one, and just my goal is to get that information out to you so you can make that educated decision. What's best for you, what's best for your family, what's best for your investment portfolio. How can we help you out? I think that's just one of those things that we get in those habitual cycles, whether it's you're renting or, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it next year. Sometimes you just got to rip off the Band-Aid and jump into it and, talk to, a lender like Russ that can really, that's very knowledgeable on the many different facets of what's out there. And then as always, as you see here on our shared screen, this is our Champions realestateteam.com website. So you can check out any houses that are actively on Omaha or even in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. This last year, Omaha and the Lincoln MLS merged together. So the other thing we did add on here that make it easier for you to find is we have our buyer's guide and our seller's guide respectively. So if you click on the buyer's guide, ultimately that'll bring up the buyer's guide. Click on the seller's, that'll bring up your seller guide. You can take a look at those, and get that information in your hands. Quick little video about our website here, find out what your home's worth, all that kind of fun stuff. So once again, thank you for joining us this over lunch hour. I think it's probably like our 10th one. So, but appreciate everyone listening and touching base with us. Russ Williams with Arbor Bank, thank you again for joining us. Jeff Peterson with Champions Real Estate Team, Rich Howdle with Champions Real Estate Team, and myself, Mark Wayner II here at Champions Real Estate Team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate. So check us out on our website, follow us on our Facebook page. As always, every Wednesday we're here doing our little Facebook Live. So we'll be on next week. Hopefully have another small business owner joining us, talk about their business. So if you want to jump on and share your products, share what we can do to help you out, we're always here to help. So thanks again. And as always, look forward to hear from you. And you guys got anything else? Signing off. So, all righty. Awesome. Take care, guys. And I'll stop sharing here.